It is Sunday, February 9th at 2:12 p.m. My collection goes live Monday, February 10th at 6 p.m. And I have no photos. A website that fully needs to be updated, and I just realized I need to make an adjustment to one of the pieces. Hello girlies, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor. I'm the founder and designer of NYGC by Taylor, or Not Your Grandma's Crochet. And as you know, if you've been here, the vibes are chaotic. As of right now, I literally this morning at 1:05 p.m. just completed the last and final piece, the perfect sample of my NYGC shoulder bag. And I kept thinking to myself, because I took a break to eat breakfast/lunch, and I was like, I feel like there's one other thing I need to do before I take photos. So I am going to adjust all these ties, hope that it doesn't take me forever. It's only 4 ties. And I will see you when that's done. It is now 4:30, and that in fact did take longer than I anticipated, but such is life. It needs to be done in order to look more uniform with others. The back one is still a little bit long, but it doesn't matter as much as the front and arm ties, at least to get the gist. I will say, as I was doing that, I was starting to panic about just how much work I have cut out for me. I mean, it is what it is. I still have ample time, like in the sense that it's Sunday at 4:30, so I have about 24 hours to get my life together, because the idea is that I do a early opening for my email subscribers. Now we need to move on to what I'm going to take for what I want to wear for the initial product photos for my website. I would say those are the main photos that I'm focused on. If later on tonight, if I'm still here and if I'm still in a picture taking mood, then I'll take some more different outfit type photos. But for the photos for my website, I have been recently trying to just wear basic blue jeans and a white top. The only thing about my white tops in particular are the armpits, which I hate. If you have a good hack for getting the sweat stain out of an armpit, please share it. It's something that actually drives me literally bananas. But it's also something that kind of is what it is right now. This one is pretty bad. This shirt is a lot older than this one, and I think I'll be fine. This one will be fine for the bags. I could just wear this. I don't know. Undecided. Additionally, I need a pair of jeans. These are a cargo pair of jeans, a loose, relaxed fit, but I feel like that kind of goes along with the vibe of the rest of the clothes. If I don't do those, then I feel like I'm gonna do those. I'm trying to not make these exactly like the other photos on my website, just because there has been time in between the taking of both photos. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to suggest that the photos were taken at the same time. So I want to wear a slightly different outfit. But I do think that I want to wear a t-shirt and not a tank top. Now I do have a whole entire backdrop C-stand type situation that I have set up in my room before, but I keep looking at my closet and I'm like, I feel like I don't need a whole backdrop C-stand situation. I feel like there must be a way for me to just drape this on my closet door, because the more space, the more floor space I have, the better I feel. Let's see. Okay, that's one side. How's it look? I feel like we could make that work. Perfect. That was faster to figure out than I anticipated. Slay. Give me a second. I have my tripod perfectly set up, so I don't want to disrupt. What? I don't want to disrupt that. As you can see, I have this set up. I'm trying to decide if it's gonna annoy me that it's like draping inwards. I might need to look at my website to decide like how my other photos look to see if that will go with the vibe. I guess I haven't said. So this collection is called the Varsity Collection. I feel like it was perfectly named because one, the main thing that's being added on the website are different cardigans, specifically cardigans that have like my name all over it. And I feel like it gives kind of like a varsity jacket bomber type vibe, you know what I mean? As well as I just thought it was a cool name. I feel like when you think varsity, you think like, okay, she's about to graduate, like she's entering a new era. She is like at the top of her current level. It's not the tippy toppiest of all levels. Obviously we still have pro and whatnot, but she's moving on up, you know. She is good at her game and ready to take on more. So that's my thought process currently behind it, and I will be giving like a full try on talk through of everything in this collection at the end of the video. So if you just want to see that, you can skip. It's okay. I won't be mad at you. The girlies that do want to stay, my next step in setting everything up is okay. This actually reminds me I need to get a different tripod, which slays. My brain slays. Okay, so the reason why I set up my backdrop on the doors instead of on my actual C-stand is because of how much room it takes up, and it's like so annoying to like when it was a few years ago, I had it permanently set up in my room, but I didn't ever use it. Like when I first started my crochet business, I would use it quite frequently, but eventually along the lines, I was just unsure about how I felt about the whole like white backdrop aesthetic for every single photo. So I kind of moved over to a more lifestyle type look. But now that I'm kind of like back in a more solid area, at least for now, it just makes the most sense, at least for my website, to have the typical white backdrop type vibe. I feel like it still it shows off the pieces in the best way that I possibly can currently, giving them like an all without it being too like model-y, because I wouldn't consider myself a model. I can take a decent photo, but I'm by no means a model. And so I feel like putting myself and my brand, putting that pressure on myself to figure out in the real world where I'm going to take these photos was just too much pressure. So that's my justification. However, I've seen a lot of people do it a lot of different ways, and I feel like if you have a good concept for a lifestyle shoot, I actually prefer that. Anyways, in addition to setting it up on my door, this helps me out because one of the tripod legs of my C-stand I actually prefer better than my actual light stand. So I'm gonna go grab that and let's set up the light. While I'm not in the business of giving my ex credit for very many things, no, I'm kidding. No bad blood. While I did learn many a thing, especially photography wise, from my ex, the biggest thing he actually taught me is how to set up and generally use a light stand. Before, back in 2020, when I first started my business, I used a ring light like every other girl doing social media. But the thing about a ring light is, one, I hate that you could see it in your eyes, like you can see the ring in your eyes. Two, for the lighting situation that I have currently, it's not too bad. It's like an overcast day, and like, you know, my room gets a decent amount of light. But especially when I was shooting on a wall that you can't currently see, and like the light was coming in only on one side of my face, that plus the ring light was not enough to like properly, that plus the ring light was not enough to properly light my photos. And so I found that the background just ended up looking really warm and orangey, and then I would try to adjust that with editing, but then I would lighten up the photo too much that like the color of the actual piece was, you know, like all over the place. So moving into like learning more about lighting and stuff like that, plus some ventures that I did last year that involved a lot of videography and photography, I learned about setting up a softbox light. Now this is still very much so at the beginner scale of a light, okay? This was like $45, $54 on Amazon. However, it has drastically improved what I can do lighting wise for my photos. Like even once, hopefully I'm able to get most of this done before the sun sets, but even once the sun sets, I can still make it look pretty naturally lit, and that's just with this one light, which is pretty impressive. So I would say if you are looking for lighting equipment, well, a ring light is nice, especially because they're very easy to set up. They're pretty cheap. You could probably get it for like $20 on Amazon. If you have that extra $20 or $30, I would say look into a softbox light. As you can see, this one is Trojan. I did get it on Amazon. While I don't like to shop nor promote Amazon for very many things, I do find, unfortunately, that when it comes to business stuff, whether that's lighting, whether that's some of the hardware that I use for my crochet bags and stuff like that, unfortunately Amazon does have a market beat. Unfortunately, it like starts off with this white light, but then you can make it warmer as a melanated queen. That's usually what I go for. And like I said, it does come with a regular, like it comes with its own, what am I trying to say? It comes with its own tripod stand situation, but I find that one to be a lot shorter and it's not as sturdy as this one, because the background one has to be a little bit more sturdy because of the nature of the backdrop, which are very heavy. I just prefer this one. I'll have to properly set the lighting once I get dressed and everything, but that kind of gives you an idea of how I set it up. It's really nothing crazy. To take my photos, in the past I have used like a lens timer situation. Currently with my tripod, my phone tripod, I have a remote, if I can find it. I have this little cutesy remote, which is pretty discreet, and so I find that like it's pretty easy for me to just like tap this to like take my photos instead of doing the timer, only because I just feel like I end up wasting so much camera roll space with the timers, because you're taking so many photos and like your ability to make sure that they're good, versus with this, like I take a few, I look at them, I'm very more quickly able to assess what I want to improve upon, you know? Okay, the only thing that I'm currently thinking about is potentially steaming this, and I'm gonna get ready, so I'll show you what I'm looking like after. Here is my look. I will be shooting with my glasses off. I'm vibing. I feel like the high pony will just make my life very easy, especially because I won't have to take my shirt on and off. There should be no reason that this ponytail, this bun, situation. Pineapple gets messed up in any way, shape, or form. I decided that I'm really primarily only going to shoot with these 2 bags just because the blue one, which is my most recently, I don't know if I've talked about this yet, but anyways, still obsessed with her. She's pretty perfect besides the fact that the spacing is a slightly off here because I ended up extending it, but now it's like the perfect length. So as long as we just shoot here and here, no one has to know. Additionally, I will be making this bag available as a ready to ship option, as well as made to order for if/when this bag sells. I did steam the background so it's crispy. I decided that the like, you know, type vibe kind of works with the whole varsity situation, and also I'm too lazy to fix it. So while I still have a little bit of sun, I'm going to start shooting. We will see how long it should take me. Hopefully not too long, since I don't have to like change my base clothes. I'm just taking cardigans on and off. We're shooting 1, 2, 3, 5 cardigans, 2 bags. 5 cardigans, 2 bags, and I need photo and video. Let's do it. It's currently like 5:20ish. It's 6:31. I have successfully photographed and videoed all of the cardigans and both bags. I am hot, I am hungry, and I am tired. Next, I'm going to take a break to eat something. Otherwise, I'm going to keep thinking about how hungry I am. I'll also make a coffee. Then I'm going to go through the photos, edit whatever edits I want to make, and then I need to make the email campaign because today's Super Bowl Sunday, so I feel like I can send an email out at like 8. That's my goal, and people should receive it, just because I want to update people that a launch is coming, as well as give them the passcode so that in case they don't see the email tomorrow, they at least already have it. At least that's my thought process. It's later. It's currently 9 o'clock. I ate, cleaned up my room a little bit, went through all the photos, selected the ones that I liked. I just airdropped them to my laptop. Now I'm about to get started on... I can't decide if I want to do the Canva stuff today, so like the marketing stuff as well as the color stuff, because I am made to order and I don't keep a large amount of any particular yarn besides, for the most part, yarn that I plan on using for a future project, in the sense that if someone were to order something, I would be using yarn that I have plans for but am okay using for an order, if you get me. But anyways, that kind of limits the color options that I currently offer on my website, and I really can offer more colors since for the most part I would be ordering more yarn anyways, you know. So I've been really wanting to figure out a better system for offering colors, and now that pretty much all of my cardigans are dependent upon the buttons, I'm going to go through the button colors that I have and then select yarn colors from the 2 different yarn brands that I use, which is Karen 1 Pound and Paintbox yarn. Select those colors that work with buttons that I currently have, create a color chart, and have that on in the listing as well. There's a few things that I could do, and I'm not sure what I feel like doing first. I did decide not to send out an email tonight, mostly because I don't want people, I want to limit people going to my website when it's not live, unless there are new people coming that might potentially subscribe, which does remind me, I do want to create a new, I think I should do the marketing things. I keep cutting myself off, I know, but the sooner that I create the marketing material, the sooner I can update my password page on my website, as well as post something on my Instagram, just kind of like teasing everything, maybe making a countdown. I did post something on TikTok that was more centered around like the Super Bowl and like prepping for my collection, but something to just generate a few eyes onto my page, which it is currently doing, so we love that. But yeah, I should take a moment to do this canvas stuff. It's currently 9:03. I'm pretty awake. We'll see how long this lasts. I do not know what my evening is gonna look like. So it is 12:38 and I am exhausted, but I added all the products to the website, made all the color swatches, like all the new color swatches. I started on marketing material, but I didn't really get too far because I was just like playing around with ideas and stuff like that. The color swatches honestly took me quite a long time, as well as creating all the product listings took quite a bit of time. My things for tomorrow, I need to finish all the marketing material, specifically the marketing material for the website and the emails that I will be sending out. I need to decide on what I'm posting as my launch sort of post. I can't decide between, obviously I'll post some sort of short form on TikTok and YouTube, but I don't know if I'm going to post a reel on Instagram or if I should post a carousel of some sort. Yeah, very much so undecided. I also am not sure when I want to send out the email tomorrow about the website, but I'm thinking I might just do it at like 5 on a dot, because like I said, I want people to actually be able to access the website, you know? Like, I already know based on like past emails, when I send an email, people click on the stuff and go to the website, and I feel like it's wasted time if they just go to the password page but they don't have the password to open it up, / the password isn't available quite yet, you know? So I think that's the smartest move. I was going to post a YouTube video tomorrow, but I think I'm just going to save that for Thursday and instead post a short, just because that'll probably get more views immediately anyways. And those are all my thoughts right now. I am literally so tired, like, especially considering the fact that last night I didn't go to bed until almost 3 a.m. Tired. If you're looking at me and thinking, there's something wrong with that girl's eyes, what is going on with that girl's eyes? Last night I went to sleep, and I've created a habit of whenever I go to bed, I open my window so that I'm getting fresh air and like I can feel the cool breeze and, you know, all those sort of things. I've done this every single night that I've slept in my bed since December, you know, like this has been a habit. So last night I go to open up my window, and immediately upon opening my window, I start sneezing, and I'm like, okay, weird. And it's like an uncontrollable sneeze where it's like I'm sneezing a lot. I'm like, okay, that's strange. I'm like blowing my nose, like whatever. I mean, not that strange, like, you know, it's warming up here in Georgia, pollen is coming out, and I don't know, whatever. I pay no mind. I eventually fall asleep. I wake up and I feel an insane tightening in my face. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But I had a really slow morning. Like, I was just kind of like on my phone vibing. I don't get into the bath, like I wake up at like 8:30 and I'm like up doing stuff, but I don't go to the bathroom and like look in the mirror until about 10ish. And even then I'm like using the bathroom, scrolling, you know, whatever. So finally I'm like, all right, like it's time to brush our teeth. I walk to the mirror, the jump scare of all jump scares. It's definitely better now because I've taken some medicine. Oh my god, I am so glad I got those photos done yesterday, because if I had to take photos looking like this, and I mean, like, it's not the worst. It's definitely starting to get better. Like this morning, I could like only open my eyes to like here. Now I'm like, I got a little bit of life left in me. But yeah, it's just really weird to me that like this eye, which is farther away from the window, mind you, because I like sleep like that. But anyways, this eye is kind of like overall swollen, but this eye is only swollen on the bottom lid, which gives me this like really weird look. I have just finished my other work for the day, so now I'm free to work on launch stuff, and I'm trying to go about this in the best way. Things that I'm thinking about. I made a graphic yesterday that I really like, that I think I just want to use as my main graphic for social media today, as well as for my email. Like I'll just center my email announcement around that graphic and then add some like specific product placements for like shoppable tags and stuff for the collection. But I'm currently deciding on whether I want to post carousels on Instagram and TikTok and even YouTube instead of posting a YouTube short. Just post a YouTube community situation, which I have done in the past. And I think because I can like post a link, I can post a few photos, that might be my better bet. So that's what I'm currently leaning towards. If I do that, that means the only platform that I won't necessarily be posting on is Pinterest. But with me having updated my product photos, I think Pinterest will automatically post stuff from my website, just because that's how Pinterest works when you link your shop. So I think I'm fine there. And then that means that I can like focus today on creating those graphics and like making the graphics the best they can be, and then also focus on the website, as opposed to like thinking through finding, editing a whole short form type video. I'm also considering skipping my upload because I already skipped it from Sunday, and so I was going to post today, but especially with my eye being like this, I really don't want to post that on that YouTube video in particular. But additionally, I think I'm just gonna skip that Sunday upload, also to give me more time to like batch content essentially, because I've been doing pretty good on my 2 uploads a week, and I feel like with me doing this launch and whatnot, that's a lot of energy that doesn't happen that often, so skipping 1 upload is fine. But after this launch, I want to make sure that I'm keeping up with my 2 uploads a week. So by pushing out the content, this will be my 3rd video in my backlog, and that should give me enough time to like start working on other stuff in the case that I don't immediately have orders, or I don't know how it's gonna happen. I'm talking without my glasses off because I feel like with my glasses on, my eyes look worse. So at least with my glasses off, it's a little bit less distracting. But yeah, the to-do list. I think I want to finish my graphics for my post so that that's all situated. I need to post something on my story as like a final push to get people to sign up for my newsletter. And I want to start working on, I'm trying to decide if I want to do the website stuff first or the email stuff first. I don't know. We'll see. I'm also trying to decide when I want to eat breakfast/lunch. It's 11:43. Probably not till later. Let's get these graphics done first. it is currently 4:13. I finished my website and feel good about that. I went through my products like one more time and there were in fact some errors, so I'm glad that I fixed that up. Yeah, I was really just making sure that there were no grammatical errors because yeah, that do be happening, and whenever I find it I get so annoyed. But I am the worst at proof checking things, like the way my brain works, especially if I need to like proof check something immediately, like I finish it and then I need to proof check it. I'm more of like I finish it, forget about it for a day, a month, 2 months, and then I come back to it. That's usually what works better for me. I'm trying to get better about it by like setting time blocks for myself where I like complete a task and then I do something away from whatever that is. So if it's on my laptop, I'll like go eat, take a walk or whatever, and then when I come back I have fresh eyes. I'm a little bit more willing to put in whatever time is necessary to like make said adjustments / edits, and then it feels a lot less painful is the best way to put it. But anyways, the final things I need to figure out is I want to schedule my Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest posts. I can't really schedule on TikTok. Actually, I don't think you can schedule on TikTok at all, but I do want to find a good audio for my TikTok, so I'll be thinking about that. I need to make my email campaign, and I think I want to go ahead and do 2. Today's Monday, so I think I want to send them out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like 3 this week, and then I'll probably switch to like 2 a week for like the rest of the remaining weeks. So I want to get the first 2 done, that way like that's off my plate. And there's one other thing. Oh, with all this shipping stuff and the tariffs and whatnot, I need to like look into USPS to see where additional tariffs are. I don't typically have a lot of followers from China, interestingly enough, but I can presume that's probably like the most major one. I do get a lot of like people from different African countries, Nigeria, South Africa, places like that, European countries like the UK. I'm gonna sound stupid. No, it's the UK, it's United Kingdom, the British Isle, and England, and then London's the capital of England. Anyways, but then I'm like, Britain, the United Kingdom, is that the country? Because Ireland is a country, but it's a part of the United Kingdom. Side quest, look that up. Okay. United Kingdom consists of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland. The capital of the UK is London. So when people just refer to Ireland, they only mean South Ireland. Okay. Okay, slay. So I wasn't completely off, but the Ireland thing was in fact the one special situation. Anyways, that was really off track. I need to make sure that my shipping stuff is decent because I do typically get some people from other countries looking. I've only shipped one international order before, and it was actually for a giveaway, and that was in fact to Britain. So that's that. Anyways, I'm just saying this update to say things are going well. It's currently 4:18, so I need to do those emails first so then I can proof it real quick before I set it live. I also need to set a password for the website. And then I will look into the shipping stuff, because shipping stuff in general is always very boring and tiring and annoying, but it's something that you have to do as a business owner. All right, it's 6:11. my brain is everywhere and I'm hungry. It's 6:11. I was able to get my email marketing campaign up in time. Not a lot of people made use of that. I'd only say that I had like 7 or 8 visitors, which does make me question whether I should have sent it earlier. I don't know. I did also schedule an email to go live tomorrow night because Shopify recommended I set an email live at like 11 p.m. I posted all my content. That's good. I'll be posting a reel tomorrow that will most likely get more traction than the photos, but I just feel like it's smart to have at least one area where like everyone can see everything. I do feel very proud that I was able to get everything accomplished. I like how the website looks. I think the website looks very good. In the past, I would say the past 2 years, at least year, I haven't loved how my website looked. I feel like I just wasn't really getting the hang of how I wanted things to be. One, because I wasn't super excited with the photos. I was personally excited with the products. However, I was also just like not in a place where I was like super excited about marketing them for some reason. And I feel like this launch has a good balance between products that I would be excited to make for someone else, but also if it's just me that ends up enjoying the products, that's completely fine for me. I feel excited about the website. I feel like I had a solid marketing idea that didn't end up requiring too much, but in the end does look good, and I feel like I can turn it into like pieces of content for at the very least the next month and a half, which is wonderful. And yeah, we'll see. I am not the type of business that typically gets orders on the first day. Usually it does require a bit of a trickle down effect and, you know, multiple pieces of marketing. So we will see what the results are, but I'll keep you updated. It's time to introduce you all to everything in this collection. Let's try it on. Starting off, we have the NYGC cardigan. This is my OG cardigan style with a little bit of upgrades, mostly in the sleeve. I've always had a ruffle design of some sort, but this is probably the most structured ruffle that I've had, and I did it for 2 reasons. One, to give something that, I don't know, felt elevated, maybe a bit more like womanly and less just like straight up girly. Like, obviously it's a ruffle on your cuff, but I didn't want it to be like, oh, a ruffle. I want it to be like, oh, a ruffle, you know. 2, one of the main issues that I was having with my original ruffle design was that it would get all, like, anytime you would reach across a table and there was like food, I would always have food in the original ruffle because it would like slide or like for various reasons. And with this, it doesn't really, it kind of just stays put in like a nice way. Even if your hands are down by your side, it doesn't really go past your wrists really. And if it does, it does in like the way that us girlies like it, not in a way that's like annoying and invasive. Another thing that I really worked on is making sure that I got the fit right for my current tension, the hook size that I've been using and whatnot. This is a cardigan that I have made in the past for orders and whatnot, but sometimes I found that like while the sizing was okay for the customer, it didn't quite match up with how I envisioned it would be. So it was nice to fully go back to the drawing board, fully be able to base everything off of either your whatever your biggest measurement is. Basically for me, my hips and my bust are about the same, so that's what I would base mine off of. However, everyone's body is different, so if your hips are bigger than your bust, I would base the oversized fit based on whatever. So you have a custom oversized fit in such and such. Regardless, the NYGC cardigan is just one of my favorites. I like the fact that it kind of has a bomber jacket look. It also kind of gives like those nurse jackets, you know, like the style of jacket that like healthcare workers wear. I don't know, but I love, she has balloon sleeve, buttons down the front, kind of like circular neckline type collar, and it goes to like right at my butt, like not quite past it, but right at it. Next we have the cropped NYGC cardigan, which of course I had to have, and this one is probably one of my more worn pieces from this particular collection, mostly because I really have been loving this pink color, as you'll see. But even more than that, I don't know, like when this cardigan, if you saw me making this vlog, if you saw the video of me making this cardigan, you would see that I talked about how when it was full length, I just didn't love it. The fit was also a little bit weird, but more than that, I just wasn't really attached to the color. But for some reason, with it being cropped, I just feel like it balances at least the things that I wear very well. If I'm wearing something basic like this all black loungy ensemble, this fits in very nicely, and that's something that I like. Okay, the NYGC brand is all about versatility. The way that I wear my clothes might not be the way that you wear your clothes, but I want you to be able to envision you wearing my pieces and my pieces fitting into your style, not you having to fit in my style, if that makes sense. Anyways, I didn't really change too much about this. I did update the sleeves, which I love. I feel like in this color, the sleeves give like flower, just like literally the most perfect ruffle in the world. I also like that it kind of gives like cinched, like it gives the ribbing is like cinching in the wrist, and that's what's creating this like balloon effect sort of situation. But not really, but you know, it's fun to think that. And I really like the cropped length. If you were to be wearing something ultra cropped like this, the shirt is actually a little bit longer, but like if you're wearing something, for note, that's my belly button, if you're wearing like a bralette or something, this cropped length is perfect. But also if you are just wearing something that's more full coverage, it like hits very nicely at your waist essentially. So love her. Next we have the alphabet soup cardigan in retro, and when I tell you, when I was creating this design, and more importantly creating the squares and trying to figure out what I was going to do with them, when I tell you this is not at all what I imagined, like if you watch the process vlog or making especially these squares, but also the cardigan in general, I was very lost. Okay, I thought I was going to make like a more abstract sort of situation that was like more funky, more colorful, something of the sorts. What I ended up with was something that, though is colorful, is still muted in a way that makes it easy to style, at least in my wardrobe. I feel like the cardigan itself is very funky, and so it pairs well with my more basic outfits, you know, when you're just wearing a white shirt and blue jeans. Like if I want to make that outfit pop, I could grab any one of my cardigans, but specifically this one, I really like how the black as like the border for the squares, as well as for all the ribbing, nicely mutes and pairs well with all the colors, and it brings out a sort of like neoniness of the colors. Obviously the pink in particular is quite neon, but even this blue I feel like it's accentuated very nicely by the black. The only area that I'm like a little about is this back area where these squares are the exact same. I don't hate it by any means, but I do like think about it. But I feel like that adds like the throwback look, because if all the colors were like these bright colors, I feel like the brown and the green do also work along with the black to sort of pare things down. Other things to mention is for the other two alphabet soup cardigans that I'm going to show you, base the fit of those off of this one, because this one's actually using the yarn that I would use for your orders as opposed to scrap yarn that I was just using to finish up samples. So this is how your cardigan would actually fit. As you can see, it fits very nicely on my wrist, similar to my NYGC cardigan, where like it does kind of do like the girly thing, but not in a way that's annoying. If you have longer arms than me or shorter arms than me, I do include in my listing where you can have all the ribbing, so for the wrist and for the bottom, either shortened or lengthened depending on your particular needs. In terms of the overall length of this cardigan, I would say it hits about like hip for me, so I would say I have a pretty like average length torso. This is about 20 inches, so I wouldn't describe this as a cropped cardigan, but I would describe it as something that pairs well with like a high waist or a mid-rise type pant. You know, you could probably do something low rise, but it might show the most slither of skin, as opposed to if it was like right under your belly button, the cardigan would still cover. Another feature, which I think I'll talk more about on the other iterations, is this sort of tied up detail, which I think is very, it doesn't like jump out at you. I feel like the more like overall classiness and color of the cardigan pops out a lot more than the tied up nature, which I like, but I feel like the tied up detail just adds that extra oomph. Also, because this cardigan is one size fits most, I feel like the tied upness kind of helps to give more grace in terms of fit and whatnot. So all the measurements are listed on my website if you're curious. And like I said, this is one size fits most, and that goes for all the alphabet soup cardigans. Let's talk about a bag. My NYGC shoulder bag in Tetris. The video of me making this was a journey. Okay, it was very much so a trust the process, but I love her. I think she is so stinking cute. I feel like it's very much so like a clutch style bag, in the sense that like, baby, this is not your diaper bag, you know? Like, this is very much so like a wallet. It's a glorified wallet, but it's like for the girlies like myself who don't carry a wallet. They carry a purse, a cutesy little purse like this. I really like the color. I really like how doing the color work in this way didn't feel very daunting to me, because it wasn't like I was intentionally trying to be really loose with it, which made it a lot more fun than if I was forcing some sort of particular pattern or design or whatever. All I knew is that I didn't want light colors to touch at all. And besides that, I was just kind of having fun. Well, to a certain degree, I was stressing about not having enough ribbon, but that won't be an issue for your orders. Anyways, all in all, I really enjoyed the process of making this particular bag in this particular colorway, and it of course inspired my other fave. This cardigan hates to see me coming, okay? When I am putting on an outfit, 9 times out of 10, this is the one I'm reaching for. This is the one. I just feel like, who knew red was a neutral? You know? Like, who knew that red was a neutral? And how criminal would it have been if I had actually done this in white? If I had done this in white, it would have been such a different vibe. I feel like having the red integrated in the cardigan itself, but also make up the ribbing, just really gives a nice sporty F1 NASCAR-y Ferrari type vibe to it that I love. And I'm not a red girl, okay? I don't own a single red shirt. Maybe one button down that I thrifted, but like, me and red, we don't play together. But for some reason, I've been loving styling this cardigan. It just is so fun. All the same details. I feel like the ties maybe are better illustrated here in the sense that they're there, but they're not meant to be like edgy per se. They're just a fun, like, you know, like, but I'm not trying to like make a statement with the fact that your cardigan is tied up. You know, it's just like a, just like this little bow on your wrist. It's like, you know, it's like, it's just so cutesy, but in like a I'm a grown woman type way, you know? Another thing that people who have seen the cardigan in real life always point out is the red stitching. I love the red stitching. I am so proud of this red stitching. It also is working overtime to bring the whole cardigan together, and I'm glad that I didn't attempt to line all the squares with red or anything. I feel like that would have been a red overkill, but having the red stitching nicely ties things and grounds things back in the potential of a red majority. Not in politics, but in this cardigan. Anyways, this is the Alphabet Soup cardigan in Tetris, and once again, I love her. Last of the cardigans is the Alphabet Soup cardigan in monochrome. This is a select your own, like it's a, while the other color combinations are set, you can decide what you want this color to be. If I had my way, I would have made this like a baby butter yellow type color. Would have loved that. Didn't have enough yarn. I could so see this in my classic baby blue. Would have loved that. Didn't have enough yarn. So I ended up with pink, which had me scared, stressed, shaking in my boots. But honestly, guys, the pink eats. And my ties are just like all over the place, so ignore that. But what I really like about the monochrome version of this cardigan, because I mean, like, I'm a monochrome girl. Anything that I make in a pattern / multicolor is just going to also have a monochrome option, because I'm the designer and I get to make that option. No, I'm kidding. It's because I truly believe in the power of a monochrome piece. And that's all I have to say on that. But what I really like about the Alphabet Soup cardigan in monochrome is that at the end of the day, because of its name, Alphabet Soup, you're like, okay, well, where are the letters? And whereas I feel like sometimes with the colored versions, either in Throwback or Tetris, the letters might get a little bit lost in like all the pops of color. Your eyes will eventually register them, but it's not like the first thing that they notice. With the monochrome version, your eyes immediately are like, wait, that's not just like a solid square. No. That square spells NYGC. And I've gotten so many compliments on this one. This one, honestly, all of them, I'm not gonna start playing that game, but I'm really happy with this color in the end. It probably wouldn't necessarily have been my first choice, but I love it. Do I have plans to make future colors? Absolutely. But I'm glad with like the color schemes that I currently have, especially as we're exiting winter and moving into spring / summer. I'm probably gonna like put a pause, hopefully, on like expanding this to focus on other things. So I'm glad that I have a base of cardigans of various colors that I'm very happy to promote, that fit very nicely in my wardrobe. I do hope that one of you guys order one so that I can see it in other colorways, but I'm really happy with this current like base color palette that I have for this collection. Last but not least, we have my NYGC shoulder bag, the monochrome version. This does come in 12 different colors that you can see on the website, and let me just say, I am so happy that I decided to remake the sample one more time. I mean, she's perfect. Once again, she's very much a clutch, okay? Very much so a clutch, very much so a wallet size bag. However, for what I need from her, she's slaying. She's Slaying the House Down boots. That's like one of my favorite things right now. But anyways, let's start with a few things. Number one, my lettering going on the arm. That is such a sexy little detail because it's like discreet enough that it's not like screaming at you, but it's like, oh, what is that texture on her arm? And then you're like, oh, this, and then you see it on the front and they're like, oh, does that say NYGC? And you're like, yes, not your grandma's crochet. Additionally, like if you do just want to carry it on your arm, I feel like it's a good drop depth that you're good if you want to carry it here. But if you want to carry it on your shoulder, which is how I usually wear it, it also works out very nicely. Really happy with the pocket on the inside. I am actively using this bag, so my cards are in there, my lip gloss. Me and this bag go together real good. So I never said this is the NYGC shoulder bag. And like I said, it comes in 12 different colors, so think. In terms of my thoughts and reflections, it is a little bit over. Honestly, it's almost been 2 weeks since I launched the collection. It's currently February 21st. And I wouldn't necessarily say that the launch went as I had hoped. It went good, all things considering. I'm really proud of how the website looks. I feel like the past 2-ish years I haven't felt super in love with my website. I felt like there's things that could be improved upon, and I feel like I improved those things for this launch. I'm glad that the way that I structured this launch for the most part, I think went well. I'm such a last minute procrastinator type person, and I am so glad that I had time and I wasn't worried about taking photos and stuff on Monday. Being able to get all that done on Sunday so that I could focus on the website things on Monday was beautiful. The only thing that I would change is just getting my launch date out there more and in more different ways. That's definitely a challenge for me, I think, just because it's hard when you don't necessarily want to send people to your website. You don't necessarily want to close the reason why you don't want to send people to your website is because you want them to see it at its best, which is what you plan to be doing. So then you're like, well, okay, then password protect it, and so you can at least capture some email subscribers and things like that. And you do want to do that, but you also don't want to leave it on the password protected website for like more than 5 to 7 days type vibe. So that takes a little bit of planning. On the flip side, you could also just be working on a copied version of your website and have your current one public, but then you're not necessarily capturing email subscribers unless you have like a cool pop-up, which now that I think about it, I used to have a pop-up, but I don't currently have a pop-up. I need to do some research into that. So yeah, I would say the building up, which is what I really need to work on, I did an only okay job. And the numbers show that. While I'm extremely proud of this website, while I'm extremely proud of this launch and I feel really good about how it looks, I can very much so see how me taking as long as I took basically to get things together did directly affect things in terms of like my customers actually getting to the website, looking at the website, click like the ability for me to get the actual customer to click on my website to just view the website. That's been more of a challenge with this launch than in past ones. I've definitely had, while consistently I have at least like 5 to 6 people looking at my website every day. The typical conversion is like, for every 1,000 people that go on your website, you're looking at about one sale, like 1 to 2 sales. And within the past almost 2 weeks, I think I've had maybe like 100 sessions on my website, maybe 300, but I think it's more like 100. So that's something that I really need to work on, in terms of getting people to click on the website. That's something that I'm actively trying to think of ways to do, one of which was email marketing, which I think you guys heard me talk about during my behind the scenes. I did end up sending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, either 4 or 5 emails. Those did help in terms of getting people to open the emails. I didn't have too many people unsubscribe from my newsletter list, which was really cool. I didn't have as many people actually like click onto my website as I had hoped. For the most part, each of those 4/5 email campaigns only garnered me about 2 website clicks, which is low. And that's even with me offering a discount, which I never do. So those are things to think about for sure. All in all, I don't feel discouraged in any way. I do still feel critical of myself because I know that there are things that I can and will improve upon, but I don't feel discouraged. I feel actually quite proud of myself for at least getting closer to the look of what I'm wanting. I think there's still definitely things that I can improve upon, especially in terms of how I show up on my social media to make it make sense in terms of getting people over to the website, if I'm saying that's my goal. But in terms of feeling good about a website, I feel good about that. In terms of having been on a regular posting schedule at the bare minimum, I feel good about that. When I look at my conversions in terms of apps, people are clicking from YouTube, people are clicking from TikTok. So these things that I'm putting my time in, trying to be consistent about, are working in terms of my goal of getting people to look at the website. It's just about constantly figuring out new and better ways, and I'm excited about that. I don't think that, while financially I would love some more orders, I do feel like this is a very not seasonal, I wear my cardigans year round, but I feel like I'm excited for my spring summer collection to come out, hopefully at some point in time, within some point in time. I am very excited about that. I feel like I'm going to continue with the trajectory that I've set for myself. I am just overall feeling very positive, which I'm glad to be feeling, because I mean, it's easy to like get down about these things, and especially when you see some business owners just get such amazing success. But at the end of the day, we all had to start from somewhere, and this is my somewhere. So if you are a business owner who has a small business like myself, and you see someone like myself who has a decent amount of followers, just know we are all out here grinding for those conversions. No, I'm kidding. I wish you very much so luck and success. I will tell you that despite not getting any orders, I am very happy to have a physical website. Dealing with things in DMs, I never enjoyed that. Paying for a website every month is so worth it for me to at least feel the comfortability of knowing, okay, today 4 people looked at my website. Like, knowing 4 people, 1 person in Canada and Nigeria, 2 people in somewhere in Iowa, like knowing that there are real life human beings who took the time to look at my website, that brings me so much joy, okay? So having my Shopify website, love, 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 love. Having developed a collection, I feel like for me, the Varsity collection just represents a new era of my crochet brand. I have grown up and matured right alongside my brand. These are cardigans, specifically the cardigan designs that I hope to continue to develop throughout my time as a business owner. Another thing that I ended up doing on my website is dropping, I figure out what, wait, I'm sorry, I'm tweaking out now. I feel like talking about pricing is a whole conversation within itself that I'd love to film like a crochet and chat about. But for now, just know I dropped the prices of some of my accessories to make that make more sense for some people. If you're just, you know, you want something for my brand, but you can't quite do a $300 cardigan, I understand. I also decided to take off stuff from some of my past collections just because they don't really feel like me right now. They're things that I either want to further develop, mostly further develop, or just keep for me for that era that was me. But this is a new me. I'm starting to tweak out, I can't lie. Anyways, I say this all to say that while I would love to come here and just be like, you guys, I got 50 orders, I am equally as happy and satisfied in this exact moment knowing that I worked my butt off to create these samples that I now love and cherish and are a part of my everyday wardrobe. I get to go on my website and feel very proud of the fact that I did every aspect of that website. Oh, you guys don't even know. Even looking at my social media, I am the big, if anyone's watching my videos, it's me. And while, like I said, I feel like I can definitely improve upon my social media presence and whatnot, I still feel very happy of the me that I'm currently showcasing. I just want to like add some more variety to her is the best way of putting it. But I can see myself constantly trying to make improvements, and that's all I can do really. So we've learned some things for a future collection that will hopefully not take 500,000 years. You can expect these things to stay on my website for the near future. I don't really have any plans of taking them down. If anything, I have plans on making more variations of things. Not the top of my focus, but definitely something to happen along the lines. And all in all, thank you guys for just tuning into my YouTube journey. Especially I just feel so sentimental when it comes to YouTube, just because in terms of like actually seeing my growth, I feel like YouTube is one of the bigger places that I can like see that tangibly in terms of like how I'm talking about things and showing up on camera and trying to like take you guys through the process. So if you made it this far, heart fingers, very much appreciate you. Please check out my website, even if you just scroll through, because I put a lot of time and effort and energy into it. And I hope to see you in a future video. Goodbye, girlies.